Welcome, Winnemucca, to the first Winnemucca InnSiders sports show for the season of 2018. Dave, it's our 10th anniversary.
Hard to believe it's gone this long, but it has, and it's been successful. And I'm wishing everybody good luck for this season, so stay tuned.
We're the original sports show, so anybody else that tries to do sports show, you're imitating us.
The contest, the 10-game contest between college and pros, I think we're the originals. So we've got a lot of people already signed up. We've got till this Friday at midnight to get in here. Get your Players Club card. If you don't have it, sign up. The contest is free, $1,500 during the course of the season. Cash and prizes. There will be a weekly winner every week. So even if you miss a week, you can still have a chance of winning the free play on a weekly basis. So we went over the rules yesterday. We want to kind of get right into it here and kind of give people our opinions. I guess the crux of our show has always been our opinions on who's going to win the games. Our opinions have proven to be not very valuable over the years, but we do it anyways, and we like to follow our own results, and it's kind of what makes this whole contest fun.
So should we tell everybody, Terry, that out of us four, because we had Rod last year, you beat us all?
Is that the way it worked out? However it worked out, it was close. I know it was close.
You beat me in the last week or two.
I had one year where I had a commanding lead of about 10 games.
See, Dave, where were you at on the list last year?
Well, let's not worry about last year. Let's worry about the year before, where I was the only announcer ever in the 10 years to pick 10 out of 10 correct. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay. Just having some fun.
Let's not forget I was 14 out of 15 on Monday Night Football last season.
That is true. So, Dave, we've got your game right out of the chute. Your Nittany Lions against the Pittsburgh Panthers. And Terry pointed out that you and I, we were off by, 2.5
Just
points?
2.5 points. So
but
they had to pick these spreads before they came out.
But come game time, we might be right on the button now.
I don't think so. After Penn State's
that was the problem
last week, I don't think they're going to be getting any more respect until they have a good game. Pittsburgh didn't play, so Pittsburgh is yet to play a game.
Right.
We don't know what they're made of.
Okay, before we go criticizing Penn State's performance, I criticized the Associated Press and the odds makers who made them lines like that. Appalachian State was in a bowl game last year and actually won the Sun Belt. They're a tough team, and they made that spread too high, and I myself got suckered into it. I thought Penn State, with that ranking of 10, it's way too high for them. Same when Michigan State was 11. They just didn't perform. But I see Penn State bouncing back and beating a rival team here at Pittsburgh this week. Appalachian State just has a good team.
Yeah, I knew that. So I keep track of this every year, and that's why I have to look down at the page and mark. Yesterday was the first time we tried this video. I got to work on looking at the camera.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
My wife said I looked shifty because I wasn't looking at the camera, of all things.
Well, I'm trying to.
I'll jump straight out. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. First game at home.
What?
10.5 points. I think Penn State wins this game, but 10.5 is too much. So you got to the spread on the by the book is 8. It's 10.5 in the contest. We don't change the contest. You have to. If you pick Penn State, you have to win by 10.5. I'm taking the extra 2.5 points. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I'm with Davey on this because Penn State's going to right the ship, and the quarterback is a good quarterback. He's an all Big Ten performer. I like Penn State a lot in this game. I think they win by a couple of touchdowns, no problem, against Pittsburgh. They've got their jitters out of the way. Pittsburgh, well, quite honestly, this is their first game, so they're going to be nervous.
Yeah, they're at home. If they get just a little bit of momentum at home, just like yesterday, Gary was all over Florida State. He said no.
I knew that was coming.
Vatek, didn't let them in the game. So you got to see a few games before you make bold statements. I like the extra 2.5 points. I think Pittsburgh probably lose the game, but I think they keep it close. They might even just lose by 10, but I'll take that half point in my favor.
All right.
So the next game, Georgia at South Carolina. Again, these two teams have played a game, but can't even really call it a game. Georgia played Austin Peay and beat them 45 to, I don't know, was it 10 or 7 or I don't know if there was a score on Austin Peay's side. South Carolina played CCU, which is at Central Coast University, beat them 41 to 10. So these guys had warm-up games against Division I. I don't know why they play these games, to tell you the truth.
I don't know why either.
This will be their first real game. South Carolina's at home. Georgia's ranked number 3 in the country. That spread on the contest is at 6.5. It's actually 9.5 on the deal. So I'm all over Georgia for the same reason I took Pittsburgh. I'm going to take the extra 3 points that the bookie's not giving you. Taking Georgia because I think they win pretty easily by a touchdown or more, and I don't have to lay 9.5.
Well, I like Georgia a lot in this game. They've got a lot of the same players back, except they don't have the big running back. But they got a lot of offensive players and weapons. They got their starting quarterback back. They were in the championship game last year, got nipped in overtime. Was it overtime against Alabama last year? Dave, you remember?
No, but it was down on the wire.
It was down to the wire. It was either overtime or the last.
You're thinking of.
It was the last play of the game. It was a lot of fun, anyways. But I'm going to take Georgia. I don't think South Carolina has what it takes this year. So Georgia Bulldogs
at home, but yeah, I like Georgia until they prove us
Okay,
wrong.
we know how this goes when we go unanimous here, but Georgia's rose to the cream of the crop in the SEC. Let's face it.
And again, you're getting 3 points better than the book.
And South Carolina is the middle of the pack team. Let's not go crazy here. You got to take Georgia in this game with their quarterback back. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave.
Okay, and the last college game is a Pac-12 game. USC is at Stanford. This should be a good game early in the season. We've got a number 13 Stanford at home against number 15 ranked USC Trojans. Again, just like the previous game, both teams played this last week, but I almost don't consider those games. USC played UNLV. They're not in the same league. So UNLV covered the 28.
But they're not the
spread.
Sisters of the Prairie.
Well,
Come on.
They're real close to the Sisters.
USC couldn't even cover against a bottom tier Mountain West team.
But they won double digits. They didn't cover. I don't know what the spread was, 26 or 27. They won by 21 or 22. Stanford also played San Diego State, who had a good year last year, and again won fairly convincingly. So I just don't.
But didn't cover the spread. I suffered through that.
So both teams, played last year and last week against teams that they were big time double digit favorites on. Neither team covered, so they're both 0-1 against the spread. Somebody's got to come out of this and win. Being a Pac-12 fan myself, these are two of the powerhouses that I don't like facing. USC has always got Washington State's number. I don't like the team, but I got to take them in this situation with 3.5. I think they're going to go to Stanford and make a run at the Pac-12. We got the Huskies coming out of the gates at number 6 in the nation. They got beat by Auburn the first week,
and that's not a bad thing. I mean, Auburn's a really good
and it's tough
team.
to win down there in those
exactly.
SEC home stadiums.
I thought Washington, just talking about that game real quick, Terry, I thought they got the nerves out of that first half out, and I thought they played very, very well in the second half of that game.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that they're going to just kind of go down a road of misery this year, and it'll be easy by the time we get to them at the Apple Cup. They'll be totally demoralized.
Okay.
I'm afraid that's not going to happen.
I don't, and not unless, what's your coach's name?
Leach.
Oh yeah, Mike Leach. Unless he has something up his sleeve
He's
that I'm not aware of.
Up his sleeve.
I don't see them even being bowl eligible. But I could be wrong.
What do you mean? We just won our first game against Wyoming. Supposedly had a top 10 defense in the country, and we put up 41 points on them. So Washington State's going to be. They always struggle. They don't get the cream of the crop when it comes to recruiting power, but I think we're going to have a competitive team this year. That's the kind of game we could have easily lost to open the season. And instead, they pulled it around in the second half. The quarterback looked really good. Defense shut down Wyoming, and rolled to a pretty. It wasn't an easy game, but the end score looked like an easy victory.
Well, getting back to our contest, I am going to take the Stanford Cardinal. I cannot stand USC with a passion. I hate that fight song. I hate their colors. I don't even like LA.
Trust me, USC was right behind the Washington Huskies and teams I didn't like in the old Pac-10 and now Pac-12. But since Pete Carroll's come to the Seahawks, I guess I'm not as critical of USC.
I see how this rolls.
Plus, I want to win. I actually think they play within the 3.5 points and have a good chance of winning this game outright.
Jeez. All right, Davey.
I watched Stanford play San Diego State last week. I wasn't impressed. I haven't seen anything from USC, though. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go home cooking here. I'm going to take Stanford. As much as it kills me, I'm still going to take Stanford and lay to 3.5 points. And our spreads were pretty good, Gary. We were pretty close there.
Yeah,
you're close on that one. That was right on. That is what the book
I think
spread
the
is.
Penn State spread would have been a little closer to our favor, Dave, had they not had such an overtime showing against Appalachian State. So
well, no Saquon Barkley, no Mike Gesicki. Their offense is lacking. Nobody's going to convince me any differently. You lose them kind of players like that. That's NFL caliber players. You're not going to be the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's move on to the pros. First week of the pros. I mean, what can you really garner from the preseason? I think almost nothing. The players and the coach get a little bit of a workout. It's hard to say who's going to step up and be who. I think we need a couple weeks to see that play out. But we've got 7 games here, starting with the 49ers at the Vikings. Vikings a 5.5-point favorite.
Well, I'll start off on this one. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I liked him as the backup in New England. I thought he was really good there. The Vikings, they got who's their new quarterback? He came from Denver, didn't he?
No, it's Kirk Cousins from the.
Oh, Kirk Cousins. That's it.
Redskins.
He came from Washington. Okay, I couldn't remember. There's so much changes this year.
There's a lot of changes, and I'm not up to speed on all of them yet.
But
either.
I think the Vikings will win the game, but I don't think they'll cover the 5.5. So I'm going to take San Francisco 49ers plus the 5.5, and I'll be 1-0 in the pros.
I think you've given me advice on 3 games so far, and you've been wrong on all 3 when it comes to
It's
college.
early. I'm an early loser. I'll be a late winner.
Well, we're still early. It's first week of the NFL. I think the 49ers are going to be improved this year. I like the 49ers' chances, to be competitive this year. The Vikings, the new quarterback. This is a toss-up. It is one of those games where I'm going to go with the 49ers just for the local flair, but I would not bet this game.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet it either.
Dave?
You guys are going against a team that was in the NFC Championship game.
I know.
But
Change
you
the
know what,
quarterback.
though? That Garoppolo, despite the fact he dates porn stars, which don't matter to me, my hat's off to him. When you saw her, you'd date her, too.
Him and Donald Trump, I guess. Huh?
Well, I don't see where that has anything to do with throwing a football on a Sunday. Anyway, I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to go with the 49ers. He's undefeated as a quarterback so far, and I'm going to ride it out as long as I can
Well,
go.
there's 3 of us. Again, we're taking the
Okay,
taking
so
49ers,
is this our
but we get 5.5.
Is this our second?
Well, Georgia was an easy one. Georgia,
Yeah.
dropping 3 points from the
All right.
bookie spread. It's hard to not take them at less than a touchdown. This one, we're kind of going out there on a limb. We're all taking the underdog.
Well, I know that this next game, Terry.
So the next game, everybody needs to know Gary's from Ohio, and everything Ohio are within a 500-mile radius always gets approval. And we got the Cincinnati Bengals going against the
The
Indianapolis
Bengals.
Colts
Let me tell you something. We looked really good in preseason.
every year.
No, not every year. We didn't look very good last year in preseason, but Andy Dalton looked good. Everybody seems to be on the same page. The Bengals, last year, is like Dave says, it's in the past. And I love the Bengals. Andrew Luck.
In an effort to save time, we know you're on the Bengals. Let's just talk about the Colts.
Yeah, let's roll.
Oh, my gosh.
So again, this is a game I don't have a dog in this fight, so to speak. I think the Colts at home 3.5. They had a tough year last year. I think they bounced back this year, and I like the Colts at home to take care of the Bengals. I think the Bengals will start similar to the way they finished last year.
Oh, gosh.
Boy, this is a tough one. Andrew Luck is back. It should rile up the Indianapolis Colts, but not necessarily. I'm going to go with the Bengals just on a hunch here.
Okay.
Nice. Davey's gone with me.
Well, every
So
time
I'm
I
Thanks, Davey.
pick a team for last place, things go awry. I'm just going to go with right out just on a feeling here.
So the next
I
game
wouldn't touch this game.
is the Pittsburgh Steelers, at the Browns, the Brownies.
Okay.
Again, a team that you already know who you're taking here.
I'm going to surprise you.
Okay, so you're going to actually go the other way. So the Browns didn't win a game last year, right?
No. And I said
Some
that
people
Hugh
think-
Jackson should be fired. The guy's won for his lifetime. He's terrible. And then they go and they make this horrendous move to get Tyrod Taylor, who I said stinks in the NFL. And so Buffalo's happy. They got rid of him. Browns are not going to win nothing. I don't care if they go undefeated in preseason until they're blue in the face. Steelers will kill them.
Okay, Gary's on the Steelers. Not much argument for me. I like the Steelers as well. I don't need the Browns. After losing 16 games last year, they're opening at home, but they're opening against the AFC, championship team
Yes.
there. So it's kind of tough to go against them. Although we just did against the Vikings. No rivalries in here. So Dave,
I'll tell you what,
Steelers-
despite the fact that the Browns went 4-0 in exhibition season, they've also did that 2 years ago, and then they went 0-16. So that doesn't mean anything to me. Steelers still have a good team. They have Ben Roethlisberger, their defense, Mike Tomlin. End of story. Steelers trounce these
Le'Veon
clowns.
Bell, I think, is questionable coming into this first week.
He still hasn't reported.
So we'll see what happens
Even
there.
without Le'Veon Bell. all that aside, you still got to take Pittsburgh in this
Okay,
game,
so
and
all
everyone's
three of
betting the
us-
other way. It went down a 1.5.
All three of us are on the Steelers.
Oh my gosh,
here.
this is our third game that all three of us agree.
It's early in the season.
It's
Yeah,
scary.
I don't know. We're just whoever goes first. Seems like we're following you, Gary. Next game, Texans Patriots. The Patriots, fresh off another Super Bowl appearance. Tough game for the Patriots. I don't think it's tough because they've won enough Super Bowls. But the Eagles had a nice little upset last year.
I thought it was great.
Well, I have to tell you, because my buddy Dave is a huge Eagles fan. Our buddy Ed's whole squad, another huge Eagles fan. I'm happy for them. So
I'm happy for me. I played it right for once. So.
I don't even remember what the heck I did, but I lose so much when I bet anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So this game here, Texans are at the New England Patriots. They're less than a touchdown underdog. I think it's a tough road to hoe. I'm going to go right out and just say I like the Patriots. Last year they did lose the Super Bowl, but I think in 17 regular season games they were 13 wins against the spread. So a good team straight up and a good team against the spread. Hard to go against them.
Well, you can see, folks, I'm representing our local boy here, Jace Billingsley, is on the New England Patriots, and I am representing right now. I'm going Patriots all the way. Who is their quarterback at the Texans? It's back.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. No, forget it. Deshaun Watson versus Tom Brady. You got to go with a better quarterback. That's hands down.
Okay.
But the quarterback doesn't play defense. The quarterback, you can't just go with the quarterback. This isn't baseball.
Texans.
I'm going to take the Texans in the 6.5 points here. I might even take a money line. Deshaun Watson was the only thing that stopped them last year from having a really good team. He got hurt too early in the season.
They
ruined
had
their
some big
season.
injuries early last year.
Yeah, they did. A lot of defense.
Well, that's right. J.J. Watt was
J.J.
out,
Watt
too.
went out.
But he gets hurt
so
every
did the
season.
other side of their defensive line went out in the first game or second game, so they were hobbled. I still like the Patriots. Again, I think if you went back over the last 5 years, they probably 70% against the spread. They're probably the best covering team in the NFL.
Yeah, you have a good point there. They are.
Okay,
but
so
I'm
the next
still taking
game-
the Texans here.
Not good, so we have a little difference here. The next game, the Seahawks, my Seattle Seahawks against the Denver Broncos at Denver. Denver's a 2.5-point favorite, probably where they should be. I got to take Seattle.
Shocker there.
I'd like to see them get off on the right foot here. I'm not sure the Broncos have really put that program back together. That's an old AFC West rivalry. I'd love to go in there and win this opening game.
I think the Seahawks struggled on offense the entire preseason. Don't see it
That was
happening.
on purpose.
Oh, that was on.
Smoke
Oh,
screen.
it was a smoke screen. Well, it worked because I'm taking the Broncos, and I love Case Keenum at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I think the Broncos win by a touchdown or more.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I don't understand why the Vikings even got rid of Case Keenum. That baffled me. But anyway, he's on the Broncos now, and you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to fit in with the Broncos. I'm going to go with Terry and Seattle Seahawks. They're an established team. They had a bad year last year. Look for them. Don't write them off.
They were 9-7. They didn't make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they're
by
over
one
500.
game.
I mean, they're a decent team. I'm still going to go Seahawks here over the Broncos until they prove themselves to me. I'm going to take the 2.5 points.
Okay, good. So we got 2-1. Next game is the Cowboys at the Panthers. Panthers are a 2.5-point favorite. Panthers, were in the
Playoffs.
NFC playoffs the year before. They were in the final game last year. They made the playoffs, but they got eliminated early. I don't know. Cam Newton.
No,
and,
they
in
didn't
the
make it last year.
They didn't make it last year. The year before, but it's more or less the same team. Cam Newton still running them. Cowboys, same thing. Had a disappointing year last year. I think the Panthers are getting the nod here because they're at home. This is a toss-up game.
I don't like either team. I don't think that either of these quarterbacks are elite quarterbacks. I've said it all along.
I think Cam Newton is. I mean, if he
don't.
can play with some control, I think he's a good quarterback.
Hence the word if and control.
When he gets the lead, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, well, the problem is he doesn't get it too often. So but I'm going to take Cam Newton
Okay.
and the Panthers. So I think they can beat the Cowboys on the road. I mean, at home, rather.
I'll tell you what, as much as this kills me and as much as I
No,
hate
he's
the
on.
Dallas Cowboys,
I was waiting for this pick.
I'm still going to take Dallas here over the Carolina team. The NFC East is a tougher division. I'm going to take the Cowboys in 2.5. They have something to prove after last year. The Eagles win. It's got to bother them. I got to go with the Cowboys, and I look for them to have a good year. As much as it pains me to say this, They're going to have a good year this year. I'm going to go with
Hard
the
to
Cowboys.
pick early in the season. I'm taking the Panthers at home, just taking the home team because I don't know. I think this is a toss-up game. Kind of like the next game. Our last game is the Chiefs at the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorite. At home, not really home anymore, but I guess it's home now.
Right.
They're playing in L.A. Are they in Anaheim or they're playing at the Coliseum actually?
No, they're playing at a soccer field.
Okay.
In Orange County, I
So
think.
Anaheim. I thought it was down south.
Yeah.
So, anyways, interesting game. The Chargers, after a couple of disappointing seasons, the Chiefs, had a going
12
going
disappointing seasons.
Well, no, they've been in it. They can't. They're one game away from making the playoffs. It seems like just about every year. The Chiefs, we've got Alex Smith back there.
Not anymore.
Okay, so
they traded him to Washington.
So who do we have?
Patrick Mahomes, their draft pick from 2 years ago out of Texas Tech. Good luck with him.
So that's going to be a tough game.
Versus Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, he's been a pro now for 10 years. I know you guys don't
Longer
like him.
than that.
And he's got, he's a consistency issue guy. But with his experience, I now like the Chargers at home in this game.
Well, I'm with you, Terry. I'm going the Chargers all the way.
Boy, that makes me happy. Because you know something, if you guys recall, Andy Reid through his career always starts off strong. Last year, the Chiefs were 6-7-0. Everyone had them in the Super Bowl. Then they fizzle. They start off fast every year. I don't like Phillip Rivers. I think he stinks. When they mention him for Hall of Fame, I could just vomit. So I forget that. I'm taking the Chiefs, Andy Reid. Bada bing, bada boom. That's your winner. That's my lock of the week, by the way.
That's your pick of the week?
Chiefs.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
They had a veteran quarterback, Alex Smith, as their quarterback.
His quarterbacks. Remember when he drafted Donovan McNabb and everyone booed and he was a clown?
This kid, Mahomes, has never seen any of the defense he's going to see. Preseason is nothing to regular season.
But he's been in the league, Gary.
He hasn't been in a game.
Okay, so his pick of the week is something we used to do on the old radio show.
And we're going to do that.
Whatever games are out there, I think we should have to make our pick of the week from the contest.
From the contest? Okay.
Since we're focusing mainly on the contest, I like Dave's reasoning there. That's why I liked Virginia Tech last year. Virginia Tech always starts strong. They tend to fizzle late in the season, and they did exactly that last night on the road at a tough Florida State house. My pick of the week from this would be Georgia over South Carolina at 6.5.
Okay.
So remember, it's based on this spread. I'm not as keen on the betting line, but 6.5, I like.
That's your pick of the week.
Georgia.
I was actually going to do the same thing, but I'm not.
Okay.
So I'm going. Yes, folks, I'm a homer. I'm going for the Cincinnati Bengals.
There we go.
Terry and Dave are shocked.
I took them.
But not as your pick of the week.
No, God, no. I wouldn't even look at that.
All right, so that's going to put week 1 in the books here, folks. Now, I want to remind everybody.
In the books for us.
Right.
I mean, we won't change these picks, but anybody else, you've got till Friday at midnight to get your sheet in.
Right.
The sheets that have been turned in are in there, but if we've swayed any opinions here, you always come in and change your picks before they go official.
Exactly.
At Friday.
Now, remember, folks, I started a Winnemucca Inn.
Don't forget, you got to pick your games. Everybody needs to pick this tiebreaker. Make sure you put
a red arrow there.
The total over under for the last game of the week. That's oftentimes how the winner of the week is determined. So you're just as well looking at the board and seeing what the over under is and picking that number or something slightly above or beyond below it.
Right.
But don't forget to put that in there because sometimes a weekly winner is determined by that number.
I want to remind everybody, we now have a Winnemucca Inn YouTube channel. And so you can just type in Winnemucca Insider Sports Show. You can get us there. Also, if you go to the Winnemucca Inn Facebook page, I will always provide this link. So one of the reasons we're doing the show like this is people that weren't able to listen to us at a certain time on the radio can now watch us and hear us anytime they want.
I'm not sure the watching part is so good, but I guess you gotta live with
Hey, this might put them to sleep at night if they're having trouble sleeping. Who knows? So anyways, these will be out. My buddy Davey, he'll be grading these things on Sunday nights. And I'll be furiously putting it all together and posting it on Monday.
The big thing is it's free. Get in here and play.
Exactly.
Between now and Friday.
Oh, every week, Monday, we have food specials for every Thursday. Well, for every game, actually. Chef Anton's got us a foot-long hot dog cooked up with basket of fries and all the fixings. I'm going to be taking a picture of that. and that'll be up on our Facebook. It'll be on our Instagram, and so you'll be able to check all that out as well. All right, so hey, for my buddy Dave, for my buddy Terry, I'm Gary. Goodbye, everybody.
Good.